there is an airy silence and gloom across the whole of Sirhind. Todarmal, a wealthy local Sikh, sets out to perform the final funeral rites of the Sahibzadas and Mataji. Through his connections, he manages to persuade the Mughals to sell him a small plot of land in Sirhind for the bodies of the Sahibzadas to be cremated. To purchase this land, he has to offer enough gold coins to cover the ground area for cremating the bodies of Mataji and the Sahibzadas, and he does this willingly, sacrificing and giving up all the wealth he has to buy this land to perform this righteous service. The land was purchased by placing gold coins stacked in virtual position over the required space. And until today, this was one of the most expensive land purchases ever recorded throughout history. A total of 7,800 gold coins worth 10,800,000 rupees during that time were put in vertical position to achieve this. And they bought a lot in Chaudhry Atta's land in Sirhind. Todarmal, his younger brother, Nagarmal and Moti Ram Mehra prepared the sandalwood funeral pyre for the cremation. And the bodies of Mataji and the Chote Sahibzade were cremated with great respect, maryada and pyar by these loving Gursikh. Jyoti Swaroop Gurdwara Sahib now stands at this spot where this took place. And around this time, the Mughals found out through the brother of the treacherous Gangu Brahman, Bammalanga, that Moti Ram Mehra Ji, with love and affection, provided and served warm milk to Mataji and the Sahibzade when they were in the Thanda Burj. When the young children were up in the Thanda Burj and there were orders given to keep them starving and that no one is to support them or offer them aid, Moti Ram Mehra did. And upon hearing this, Wazir Khan becomes angry. Beside himself, he orders the arrest of Moti Ram Mehra and his whole family immediately. And as the family are arrested, they are severely beaten and slapped, whipped and interrogated. And Baba Moti Ram Mehra was summoned to the court of Wazir Khan. And Moti Ram enters the court, carrying with him the spirit of the Sahibzade, inspired by their sacrifice. And he enters the court, he faces Wazir Khan, Suchanand and the rest, and he belts out, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Looking at them straight, Moti Ram Mehra is fearless, and he tells Wazir Khan he did provide hot milk, dod to the Sahibzade and Mataji, and if the time came, he would do it again and again. Oh yes, he would pay the ultimate price to perform this seva, and he would do it fearlessly. And he stated in this court, his father, Hara Ramji, travelled to Anandpur Sahib, met with Guru Gobind Singh, and became a member of the Khalsa Panth after receiving Amrit. He became Baba Hara Singh, and he was Shaheed, fighting against the Mughals in the Battle of Anandpur Sahib. And he confirmed he was the full devotee of the true Guru, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, and he would remain so until his last breath. Baba Moti Ram Mehra states his chacha, his dad's younger brother, was Bhai Himmat Singh of the Panch Pyare, whom was Shaheed fighting valiantly in the Battle of Chamkaur. And this infuriates Wazir Khan further, and he orders Moti Ram to convert now to Islam or to face death. And Baba Moti Ram Mehra, being a Sikh through and through, loyal to the Guru, loyal to the Panth, loyal to the Khalsa, accepts Shaheedi, to be martyred, to be killed. His wife, Bibi Polli, and his 80-year-old mother, Bibi Ladoji, and their son, their young son, were taken, along with Baba Moti Ram Mehra Ji, to the oil mill in Sirhind. And Wazir Khan then calls an executioner forward and orders him to crush by Moti Ram Mehra's young child to death in the two tight rollers in the oil mill, the same tight iron rollers which would use to be crushed mustard seeds to extract oil. They would now be used to crush every bone in the small child's body, his soft arms, his small little legs, his hands and his skull. This was done before Baba Moti Ram Mehra's very own eyes, before his wife, and before the grandmother of that child. The sound of the baby's bones being broken and crushed and skull being crushed is absolutely horrific and harrowing. It's something that cannot be described, and it's impossible to even imagine. Everyone who was looking on, they were holding their breath and wincing at this horrific, brutal sight. But Baba Moti Ram Mehra Ji saw this as the kirpa and will of Waheguru. He and his family get to preserve their dharam, their faith, and walk on the path of sacrifice of Shaheedi shown by the Chote Sahibzade, Baba Zorawar Singh and Baba Fateh Singh. Next, his frail 80-year-old mother faces death and Shaheedi, and she is crushed. And then his wife is also crushed to death between those tight rollers once used to crush seeds to extract oil. Now they're being used to crush human bodies, flesh and bone. The drum used to collect the oil was filled with blood, the crushed bone powder, the marrow and the mush of muscles, ligaments and bodily organs. Baba Moti Ram Mehra Ji was firm in his faith and his dharam, and he kept the name of Waheguru on his lips, heart and mind. And once his infant son, his elderly mother and wife were killed before his eyes, Baba Moti Ram Mehra was also crushed to death and murdered in this way by the Mughals. Thus, he and his family attained Shaheedi. They earn an eternal status in this transitionary world. And hearing about the Shaheedi of Moti Ram Mehra and his family, Guru Gobind Singh Ji remarks, and he says, Moti Ram is my beloved Sikh. I shall forever be indebted to this great deed. When I sit in Sachkhand, Moti Ram Mehra will sit beside me. When I merge into my formless, in Sachkhand, Moti Ram Mehra will be beside me and always be with me and close to me. Moti Ram Mehra is the necklace around my neck. He will always reside in my heart. He is my most distinctive Sikh and shall always remain at the Guru's feet forever. Guruji, on hearing about the Shaheedi of his Sahibzade, Guru Gobind Singh Ji then uproots a weed from the ground. With the tip of his arrow and states, the Mughal Empire has now been uprooted. And after 6 years, Baba Binod Singh Ji Nahang Singh, the first Jathedar of Buddha Dal, leads the attack on Sirhind, joined by Baba Banda Singh Bahadur, who was sent from Nandair by Guruji, and they together attack and conquer Sirhind on the 24th of May 1710. Like a great typhoon, the Khalsa attacks and burns the whole city to the ground, turning it to rubble, just as the Chote Sahibzade said. The Mughals were defeated. Wazir Khan was tied behind a horse and paraded in every single lane and road of Sirhind, and he died like the dog that he was, screaming out pathetically and crying in the streets in which he had committed such great sins. Suchanand, Chutanand was made to beg around with a beggar's bowl, and he died after getting slapped and smacked, hit by countless shoes and kicked, crying on the floor. He died a much deserved miserable death, getting shoe beatings on the face like the little rat that he was. Pummalanga, the brother of Ganga Bamun, who snitched on Baba Moti Ram Mehra, was kicked and hit by shoes also. Later he was tied with chains and dragged around till he died, receiving shoe beatings from everyone in the face and head. Sashan Beg and Bashan Beg, the executioners of the Sahibzadas, were killed by the Khalsa, as were all the other Mughal tyrants and oath breakers. And in this way, the great Khalsa Panth avenged the Shaheedi of the Sahibzade. And please forgive me for any and all mistakes made during this seva, and please do ardas, may it continue, and may the mercy and grace of Akal Purkh Waheguru be on all of us, and may the Khalsa Panth again blossom and become as strong as ever before. Share this with your friends, your family, your children, and forgive all mistakes. Bol chuk maaf karna. Waheguru Ji ka Khalsa. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।